What is this? Why are these? How did you get in here? The seasons don't work like this. Spring is an ill-defined limbo state between flu or hay fever being my mother's chief concern, and most years, this guy over here just feels like a straight-up myth. Hi, I'm Sage the Bad Naturalist, paranoid Precambrian amoeba trapped in a Holocene human body. Watch as I fly off the handle about
the weather.
This right here, this is a crock of crapola. It is so drilled into our heads that there are specifically 4 equally spaced seasons that you don't even realize how cuckoo bananas that idea is. Think about wherever you live. Is this how the seasons work? Almost certainly not. If you're thinking, ha ha ha, I do live in a place where the trees are green and then they fall off and then they're naked and then they're green again. No, that's not what I mean. Well, it's just a simplification, Sage. It's like a rough estimate. That's not my issue. My problem is that these aren't the seasons. Let's start with the worst offender of all, autumn. In the United States, we go apeshit for this season. My God, we love nothing more than the leaves turning colors, a crisp, chilly breeze, apples, just apples, and my God, the spices that we fastidiously reserve for only October through December. The autumnal ways are the American way. Except in this whole part of the country, there's nothing identifiably autumnal happening ever. Most of the plants here are evergreen or perennial. There's no huge amount of leaves falling all at once. There's no color changing of the foliage. There's no gradual dipping down to freezing temperatures. There ain't no autumn here. So why is this? Why is this the way that we describe the seasons in our language in the place where we live, even though it fits so poorly? Well, it's 'cause, okay, here's the deal. I've been an internet talk clown for about a year now, and I've somehow managed to not use this word yet. So, 1, you're welcome. 2, I'm sorry. 3, are you ready? 4.
Oh, here it goes.
It's 'cause of colonialism. This is an invasive species of an idea, and I must say it is ill-suited to most of our climates. So allow me to share with you some significantly better ways to describe the way that the seasons change. Many Southeast Asian cultures describe the arid and monsoon seasons. Those are the relevant ones. In the Nordic countries, they sometimes on the news will say that winter starts after it has dipped below freezing and stayed below freezing for like 5 or 7 days. That's when it's winter, which also means that winter happens at different latitudes across the country. So, you know, that makes sense because the season change is local. Why would it be national? That doesn't make any sense. Different Indigenous Australian groups have some of the absolute most incredible and coolest ways I have ever heard to describe the seasons. Take, for example, my absolute favorite. This group, whom I couldn't find a pronunciation guide for and therefore won't disrespect by saying poorly, they have a season simply called Too Cold. I love that more than some of my relatives. Also, check this page out. It's just generally incredible. You're gonna learn so much. It's fantastic. These are all vastly better ways of describing the season change than this. Here is my proposal for a better seasonal circle chart than what we got going on now, and I'll do it for my own local climate. I live in southern coastal California. We have only 3 seasons, but one of them happens twice. From mid-November to March, we have 10% chance of rain season. The rest of the year is 0% chance. This in here is when I do all my mushroom hunting videos, and it's also when I get to listen to everyone I know say, but how could I have seasonal affective disorder? It's warm here. It's the vitamin D. You should really look into that. March to the end of June. This season is called nice, and it is immediately followed by mid-July to mid-September. Welcome to the inferno. Your heat stroke, your power grid overloads, your wildfires in the living room, generally an apocalypse out here. And finally, from October to November, we have nice sub 2. Why is nice not spring and autumn? Because they're indistinguishable. I lived in Kansas for a number of years, and Kansas has surprisingly complex weather, but it kind of has to because if it weren't for the weather, everyone there would spontaneously drop dead from boredom. Here we go, November to January, that's simple cold. February to April, that's windy slush cold, and that is a distinct season. And it makes all the gardening enthusiasts very weird about when to plant their various bulbs and tubers. April to July, that's thundernado season. It is awe-inspiring, fantastic. I've been in 2 tornadoes in my life, in addition to frightening me to the bottom of my bones, but it was beautiful. From July to August, that's constant cicada screech season. Cicadas in the Great Plains states, they're annual. They're not like in the 13 or 17-year broods like in the rest of the country. And these two seasons, again, despite both being warm and rainy, they are distinct. The fact that you can't get hit by a 40-mile-an-hour microburst of screaming, horny bugs is the single most compelling argument in the existence of a benevolent god I've ever heard in my entire life. From then until October is snap alternating uncomfortably warm and uncomfortably chilly. Sometimes it alternates by the day, sometimes by the hour. Have fun picking an appropriate outfit for the day. The last week of October, that's autumn. Just one brief, delightful little week. And the final nail in the coffin, my little 1-2 punch, is the fact that I have lived in New England. And this is a terrible fit anyway. Yeah, each of these happen and in this order, but like, still not a great description. I specifically used to live in this part of New York State, which if you're from New York State, it's called Mid-State. If you're from anywhere but New York State, it's called Upstate, the Finger Lakes region. It is the most beautiful place in all of North America, probably. I haven't been to all of it, but it's pretty darn pretty. Starting out, we got Thomas Kincaid painting season. Oh, this is it. This is the primo stuff. This is what the autumnal American obsession is made of. God, the leaves, look how much they change color, and they become so crunchy, all of the leaves fall off everywhere. There's hardly any fir trees. And the foliage, or the foliage as the local dipshits say, the leaf peeping opportunities. You've never wanted to do a charcoal sketch of a covered bridge so bad in your life. This is nature's front-loaded apology for what's about to happen next. The next season, misery. I once had to walk to a final exam 3rd week of December, and it was negative 12 degrees outside. And as if that weren't suffering enough, there was an ice storm the night before, so there was all these sharp little ice crystals that were being picked up by gusts of wind rather fast and then being shot like daggers directly into the 3 square inches of exposed flesh I still had open. And then when I got to the exam, I did like this, and there were little red dots from the blood from when I had been cut by the ice crystals that were being projectile launched from the ground. It was so cold I couldn't say the letter M. This goes on for 6 months. Then it's a pleasant summer rainy season, followed by your annual reminder that climate change is real. Tell me what the real seasons are where you live. Seriously, I want you to talk to me about the weather.